Welcome to the Replace Loss with Love podcast. I'm your host, Trevilia Hodge, affectionately known as the Baldhead Baddie. Join me as we celebrate the power of love and resilience, even in life's most challenging moments. Remember, love-changing experiences happen because your love life begins and ends with you. Welcome back to the Replace Loss with Love podcast. I'm your host, Trevilia Hodge, affectionately known as the Baldhead Baddie. And tonight I have someone with me in the building, and I want to go. This is Derrick L. Simmons out of Dallas, Texas.
Hey.
He is an extraordinary human, businessman, father, friend. He was a pastor at one point, so we might talk about that tonight.
Oh, wow. Just put it out there. Okay.
Put it out there. And he is not only a friend to the show, but he is my friend. One of my favorite things to do is to get on his last nerve, and he just lets me do it. So I really appreciate that so much. But I am honored to have him on the show because this man, his genius is like none other, even though he does get on my nerves from time to time. So it's going to be an interesting show. I know. All jokes aside, we like to banter like that sometimes. So if we do, just know it's all in love. I have the most respect for this man and just him as a person. So welcome to the show, Derrick L. Simmons.
Hey. Thank you for having me. I feel honored, blessed. Man, just that you will even consider having me for your show, your podcast, and I'm excited about it. I know it's going to be a great conversation, and I'm ready. I hope you're ready.
I'm ready. I'm excited.
Okay.
I've been waiting for this all day, and I cannot wait to share you with everybody who has not met you yet, because people need to know who you are. So, even though you came off like a little pastor in your introduction right there, because I'm ready. I hope you. That's that pastor that's still in you.
No, there you go. No, that's just me. That's just who I am. Don't blame that on the pastor, because I remember when no.
See what I'm talking about. Do not. We want to behave. We need to get into some topics.
Okay. All right, let's go.
People can, just stay tuned. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
I want to dive into where we are right now, literally in this world as a nation, right? And you being a serial entrepreneur, you have multiple businesses, which you're free to talk about, whichever ones you want, because you have several, and you've been in business for 3+ decades.
Yes, ma'am.
How does one do that? And you keep a wonderful demeanor. You're always smiling. You have a different perspective in life. We might tap into that a little later. It's a good perspective. However, I just want to know, as someone who is just starting her own entrepreneurial side, what would you tell me or anybody else, especially the wherewithal of it all?
Well, first thing I would like to say really is your why have to be greater than anything. So you say, what wakes me up? What makes me do this? My why. My why is greater than anything that comes, like fear, doubt, unbelief, all that stuff, stress. Because my why is I definitely want to help others while helping myself. I love to see other people smile. I love to see other people reach their goal, and I love to reach my own goals. And ever since I was young, man, I just love to have things. So some people say, man, that's vain. You shouldn't like stuff like that, but I like it. I like having good things, and I like being able to wake up and being able to go where I want to go and do what I want to do. And in the process, help others as well.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. So as long as, if I was telling anybody in the world out there, I would say, make sure you understand your why. And matter of fact, I'm in the process of doing my own documentary called My Why. And I'm interviewing different people, and they just explaining why they do what they do. And so I know that's one of the things I do is film production. And so as long as we keep that before our face, our why, every time you wake up, and if your why is greater than your fear, you're going to get up. It's just like not wanting to get up and go to work. You're like, I need to pay these bills. Well, at that time, your why is greater. So I don't care all that fear, the doubt, the sleeping you got, getting the crud out your eye. You get up and you go because your why is greater. So keep your why greater, and it'll automatically drive you.
So I have a question. I have two questions. One, are you doing a documentary because you got inspired by me? But then also, how do you for people who may not know how to override that fear, how do you do that? Because if someone's fear may be more dominant in their life, how do they get rid of that to even find a why? How do you do that?
Well, you really have to start asking yourself the hard questions, and a lot of times we get scared of that, to ask ourselves the hard questions. And of course, it's going to take little by little in order to get that. It's not like that happens overnight. I'm just just be honest with you, it doesn't happen overnight. So you have to start somewhere. So the first thing I would suggest is just starting. Most people contemplate things so long that they never start. So, and don't be so scared to fail, because as me, like I said, I got a different perspective of life. I don't feel like I've never failed in my life. I haven't never failed at anything. Now, I have had some lessons that I had to learn, but I didn't fail because I'm still living. And even in that, even in the transition, I feel it'll be a learning process. So, I'm saying don't be scared to fail. Start small. It's just like if you're changing anything, from working out to changing your eating to learning how to be a parent. I never forget, I had my son when I was 17. And my dad, he was like, "Man, you don't know how to be no father." I said, "You didn't either until you became a dad." And I wasn't trying to be disrespectful or anything, but I knew I had to figure it out. Yeah, I knew I had to figure it out because I did know. And so you can't be scared to figure out the unknown, you know. So that's what I would say.
I have a question. What was the hardest question you had to ask yourself other than your why?
The hardest question I had to ask myself was, are you able to embrace your uniqueness? Are you able to embrace who you are? No matter what the world thinks, no matter what whoever thinks about your opinion, can you embrace who you are? And so that question really came to my mind, and I was like, for years I struggled with it, to just embrace my uniqueness. If I want to do it this way, so what? It didn't work for somebody else. I don't care. I want to try it my way, and at least I can I can say I done it my way. It didn't work. I learned, and I'm not foolish enough to think that experience is my best teacher, because I can learn from somebody else's experience and go through and don't have to go through the same thing. So, but that was one of the hardest things as far as embracing my uniqueness, saying this is what I want to do, this is how I'm gonna do it, and embrace that.
What is your greatest teacher then? If experiences may not be your greatest teacher, then what is your greatest teacher?
My greatest teacher is going within, learning me. So if the more I learn of me, then the more I can help others, I feel. Because learning me is helping others, because I feel we're all interconnected. So the greatest teacher is really communicating within and knowing, okay, did you like this? No, you didn't like this. Well, why you didn't like this? Knowing my feelings, knowing my emotions, knowing my passions, knowing how does this feel when this happened, or how, really being in reality. If somebody cuss you out, do you feel like you got to cuss them back out? Why? If somebody is put, so you really have to ask yourself the hard questions, and it allowed me to get down to my common denominator, which is I love me and I want the best for me. Now you may not love me, which I think you do, but 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 you say where they come from, huh? Yeah, I know. But even if you have to embrace who you are. So no matter if somebody else like it, don't like it, you embrace your uniqueness. At the same time, I don't want to disannul what nobody say, because my rule of thumb is I don't tell myself if I'm a good friend. You have to tell me if I'm a good friend. If I'm humble enough to accept that, I have to do what you want me to do as a friend.
Okay. So that's a good segue into how do you keep yourself humble? Because you go within, you embrace your uniqueness, you love yourself, all the things that could be healthy, and then depending on how you curtail that, it could be very cocky and unhealthy, and maybe a little bit on a narcissistic side. And I know that you're humble. I'm not saying that's you. How does somebody do all that and keep and have a level of humility or balance?
Well, when you go through life, and all of us have it, it's not, when you go through teachable moments, and you're an object lesson and you're learning yourself, it keeps you in that place. So even though I have great expectations, I love me, and I do have a self-awareness, it doesn't allow me to get that cocky because I'm still know that I'm still learning. Even though I have learned some things, and the things that I know, I know. And the things I don't know, I don't know, and I can embrace that. But at the same time, I'm not going to say, some people may say, man, you prideful, or you real confident. It depends on how you want to perceive it, and I can embrace that,
Well,
however you want to perceive it.
I think confidence is wonderful. We all need confidence in every aspect of life. You know, I that's just my opinion. But do you think someone could be too confident? And how, in business where that could affect them in a negative way? Or is confidence really what they need?
Confidence is what you need. I feel that it's not being too. You can be over aggressive or too confident, even in making business deals. And so it can come and bite you, but once again, it's all a lesson, a lesson. And you'll know, like even now, I used to be so eager. If somebody came in with an opportunity to do a business deal, I'd be like, nah, I'm not going to do it. Like with the production, I have a film production studio in Fort Worth now. And everybody was like, why did you just jump and do this? Because it was with a young lady. She's already an actor. Her name is Missy Lee. And they was like, well, why didn't you just jump and do that? Everybody else been asking you to do stuff and you didn't do it. So what gave you the confidence just to go ahead and do this? Because it made sense. When something makes sense and it all adds up, because I have had other experiences. I've done other businesses, which is a whole line of businesses that I've done. It allows you to understand the rhythms and patterns of life, not only for other people, but for my own life. And so when I started producing and doing that, it made sense to open. So we have different sets that's already there. Somebody can use it for podcasts. They can use it for movies, any type of filming you want to do.
Let's say, for instance, the concern of your family or your friends. How do you drown that out? Where people can sometimes put their own fear in you because they're not willing to take a chance, or some of them are being cautious, but they may be overly cautious. How do you drown that out or balance what someone is saying and say, okay, but I'm still going to do it? Or has that kept you from pushing forward before? Because you are a serial entrepreneur. You have multiple businesses, but I've seen you just have a business that you closed. And now you're telling me you now taking on another business, which I think is commendable. But as a person, because we're human, we get affected. How did you not let that affect you and then go and start another venture? You still had lucrative businesses on top of the one that you decided that it was best to close that business. But how do you then say, okay, let me jump into this other venture and drown out the background noise of our family and friends?
To answer the first part of that question, when you said about your family and your friends, I realized that it's a lot of things that was embedded in me, and I call it my money blueprint. So stuff that I seen my mother do, that I seen my father do, it put a money blueprint in me. And because I've seen the good and I saw the bad, even growing up, I would be like, I see this, but I don't want to fall in that same footstep. I don't want to follow that. Because my father was a entrepreneur as well. He taught me a lot of things. So to say, where did the foundation come, the spark come, from helping him know how to change a motor in a car, helping him do that to going and starting a recycling company. So seeing all that was done. And I have to go back to going within because I did just close a restaurant, which was Vision Eatery and Lounge. Man, it was good too, and I had never invested so much energy, time, expectation into a product because you get to a place that you like, oh, I figured this thing out now. I know the rhythm of it. It's going to pop. It's going to be excellent. And then when you get thrown a monkey wrench in it, you like, hold on, the building is not what I expected. We got floods. It's hot. They said they was going to fix this. They didn't fix it. Different marketing strategies didn't work. So the combination of everything. So to loop back to what you were saying is, how did I decide not to? Because it's almost like, and I hate to make it sound like a cliche, but once you know yourself and you know what you want, I won't let nothing stop me. Just because I was in a marriage or a relationship that was bad, it's almost just like that. Because you in a relationship that was bad don't mean that I was a bad person. Maybe she just wasn't the one for me and couldn't receive that love. So just because this business wasn't the right endeavor and it didn't gel, don't mean that the next one won't be. And I'm not just saying it now. Now, did I think about it? I haven't cried yet because there was hundreds of thousands of dollars that I invested. It made me want to cry thinking about it now. Man, don't cry.
I told you, don't cry.
Okay, I won't cry. But it was, man, it was a lot of time and effort. So I know the disappointments of it, but really, when you get challenged for what you believe, it's almost like you're getting challenged. And I'm not saying the devil or anything like that. It's an outward source challenging you because a lot of times it's your own desires that's challenging you. You know, you're being challenged by your own desire. You said you wanted this. I said I wanted the restaurant. You know, I said I wanted to have over 10 employees. I felt like if I was worried about other people's stuff, I wouldn't be worried about mine. It's a whole bunch of things that you say, and then when it come to pass, then you want to look at it and be like, oh, I didn't know it came with that. You know, so it was a learning curve for me, and I had a great time there. You know, and I might do it again. Who knows?
Like I said, that I'm proud of you for doing the restaurant and letting that vision, because you told me the backstory, even what the name of the restaurant meant to you. But I'm even prouder to know that you're like, okay, let me do this and start this other venture and see where this is going to go, because you are excellent at audio, visual, film, everything as well, right? But I saw your passion. I saw you be hands on, not only as a boss, but you did things that your employees did. So I see the servant in you and wanting to be there for people and, have your staff and things of that nature. And, I'm glad that you did it. And I hope that it comes back to you again and again, over and over. So if you want to open up something bigger, better, greater, maybe own the property this time. So
Right.
I know it will be twice as good because we had a great time there. We had a good time.
Oh yeah, we did. We had a lot of good, great, yeah, real good times. Did some karaoke and everything. You was on the mic singing.
Oh,
Yeah,
and she'll probably be watching, so we gotta say shout out to Miss Tanya because she's like,
yeah.
I want you and Mr. Derrick to do some more karaoke when we going back out.
Uh,
She has a song for us, okay?
what?
Well, she's serious. She has
Okay.
a song for us. She was like, are we gonna do karaoke at your party? And I was like, we're not. She was like, I just want you, please. I just want y'all to do. She has the video in her phone.
Oh wow.
I kid you not. We have a fan, y'all. I don't understand how we love her.
And I can't sing a lick. Now you can sing. You can sing great, but I can't. I can't sing a lick.
But it was nice. It was don't do that. I had a good time singing with you.
Okay. All right.
I will do it again. It was fun. We got to do it for Miss Tanya because she is.
All right, Miss Tanya, you have my word. I will do it again.
Yay, that's so awesome. Thank you. So I'm excited because I really, really know how hard you work. How do you balance life and how much you work? Do you have any tips for anybody who says, okay, because you're a father, you're a grandfather, you're a son, you're a friend, you work at churches on the weekend as well?
Yep.
Yes, even though
Yes.
you're not pastoring anymore, but you still work at the churches on the weekend.
Yes, I do.
How do you balance these? How do you put that?
Now I can say that my balancing act wasn't as good, but as I get older, I realized that balance is the key.
Okay.
At first, I was a workaholic, especially years ago. That's all I wanted to do. That's all I thought it was getting to the bag, making the money, getting the money. If I get the money, but now I realize that it's other things that's important, like sleep. Like you. So it's other things that's important in order to get you to where you're going.
Yeah.
Like you may not realize how important sleep is and getting rest, but as I balance it out and get my rest that I need, when we're young, we run away from naps. I don't want to take a nap. You start getting a little older, you like, for me, man, I need to take me a nap. I need to go and give me some rest. So I had to start balancing it out, even with going on vacation. At first, I would work so much I would never go on vacation. That was one of the things that I learned from when I was married as well. Is Like I would send them, let them go. They would take a vacation and everything. And I'm thinking, that's good. As long as you helping, you supporting, you doing that, you being a man, you doing your thing, you the head, then everything is good. At that time, I was such a workaholic that I didn't have that balance. So it took learning that to actually have a balance. Now I feel like I do have a great work play life balance because I will play just as hard as I work. I will play. If I get a dime over a nickel, I'm out of. I'm on the plane. I'm out of here. see you later. Because I realize that I need that. Every interview, every time I talk, I always talking about going within because you have to know your happy place.
Yeah.
And maybe that's not other people's happy places. And sometimes you can call me self-centered. I don't care what you call me. Sometimes I do what I need to do in order to make me productive. And then once I'm productive, I feel like I can be productive for you or for whoever, So I have to pull back. I have to sit. I love water. So sometimes I have to just sit back, look at the water. I love live bands. So I go hear a live band. Do something that you love to do that makes you smile, that even on the worst day, you like, yeah, man, I got that peach cobbler, or I got this, or whatever it is, you have to pull yourself back and you have to have those days. Now, I'm not saying to overdo it, but you definitely got to have that balance, so that's what I do.
And just know, y'all, the peach cobbler he talking about is his mother's. She is like, she my favorite, even though we haven't met, and I'm her favorite, but she doesn't know that yet because she makes the best peach cobbler that has ever been on this planet.
I agree.
Yeah, so just know when she meet me, everybody else gone. That's why he won't introduce me to her, because she don't care about them.
And it is challenging, even dealing with, like you said, to keep the chatter out. You have to be so confident in what you believe in, because other people don't see the vision. That's why I actually gave myself the name Vision, because a lot of people don't see the vision, and it's okay. It's all right if you don't. I used to get mad, be like, you don't see this? You don't know that you got to do it? I used to be like, no. And that was one of the things that I had to develop into. It's just because you don't see it, it's okay. Just because I don't look at the ones that don't support me. I look at the ones that support me, and I say I'd rather deal with that quality, that one. That one means so much to me. Forget about, man, what about these people that hating you? Man, I don't care about no haters. I don't even spend no time on no haters. I'd rather spend the time on the ones that love me. I love them, and we develop it and they grow.
Yeah. I know that one time this bishop, he is out of New York, Bishop Christopher Cox. He is a phenomenal man. He said, see, you always say, I don't understand how they just don't see that. He said, because everybody's not a seer.
Right.
So they won't see it. And you have to respect what dynamic you have as a seer. And that's why you have seers to show people the vision that you're able to see. So it's good that you have, carried into that, and you're able to know that even though you see it, other people may not see it. But sometimes it's our responsibility as the person that can see to show other people the vision. They be like, oh, I didn't even see that. Thank you, because, or just lead them as you move in life, right? So you said several times that you go within, and I know that you used to be a pastor, were pastor for years. So I would like to know, how does that going within correlate, or does it correlate to you as a pastor, a previous pastor, and how does that translate now that you're no longer a pastor? And would you ever be a pastor again?
You say, would I ever be a pastor again?
Yes.
No,
Okay.
no.
Okay.
No, I would never take that role. As far as under the cloak of Christianity, I wouldn't. Not to say that I wouldn't motivate, I don't inspire, not to say anything of that. I would not be under that. And it's just the development that I had to do for myself in order to come. People always ask me, well, do you believe in God now? Yeah, of course I do. I mean, of course I believe that there's a God. I believe that we do have different denominations, religions. All that to me is a attempt to explain this eternal being or these concepts. So anything that man made is an attempt to, try to create a system that works for them, and that's fine. And when I say go within, I'm talking about the system that works for me. A lot of the concepts are still the same that I believe in, as far as treating everybody right, making sure somebody else has a need. If they have a need, to make sure you supply their needs, supporting and all of that. So the foundation of things don't change, but the approach does change. If you're taught that, I was taught that the money was the root of all evil. And so if I'm taught that the money is the root of all evil, subconsciously, I can't get too much money because now I'm getting the thing that's evil.
Right.
So it could be blocking me subconsciously from where I want to come, because now conscious wise, I can't get too much of it because it's the root of evil. You see what I'm saying? So, and that's just one of the concepts. You threw me under the bus. You asked me now. So,
I like this. Keep going.
So some of the concepts and precepts of what we've been taught can hinder us from elevating. And we don't realize some of the things we have been taught is just what it is. We just been taught that. And we have to unlearn what we've been taught in order to elevate. And that is challenging.
That is challenging. And I applaud you for answering the question. So thank you so much, because you didn't have to answer that. And then also, I applaud you for saying that you do have to unlearn some things, because you and I both grew up in the church in different parts of the country. We didn't know each other. And I can even say with that, they leave out significant parts in that word of the money is root to all evil, because it's the love of it. It's the greed behind it. Not that you should be without it. And a lot of people are now learning that I don't have to be without it, because if I do have money to get my basic needs and then have extra, I'm not worrying as much. So it opens up another aspect of me to go get more and obtain more. Doesn't mean go get more money, but attain more in life to learn who you're supposed to be on this earth. If you're worried about where you're going to get food from, how do you then multiply within as a person and give and do other things? It's hard when you don't have, because now you're only focused on how can I get my basic needs, right? So there's a lot. I had a moment, we could talk about it off, off screen, about reading Romans 8 the other day, and I had a good revelation for myself about constantly hearing about the flesh being crucified, and the only thing equated to that was sex. And it wasn't like crucify your flesh to be disciplined to keep your health right, what you put in your body and what you think. And so then you're exposing yourself, you're getting vulnerable to all these other aspects of your body, your flesh, because you're concentrated on just not having sex. And if you don't have sex, you wait till you get married, you are God's favorite. And that's not the case. You're God's favorite no matter what you do.
I agree.
He loves you all the way through. So I had a big girl moment the other day at this big age, realizing that, not saying I didn't realize that in this aspect, but just how much I had to go back and forgive myself for all the years when I really had that and how embedded it wasn't, right? So it's a lot. Like you said, you're constantly learning. You're always learning, no matter how old you are and what that age may be. So I really appreciate you sharing that moment. So I share a little bit, so I don't be out there alone.
Oh no, that's fine. Because it is, a lot of people ask me about that transition. How do I transition? So what does that mean? What principles do I live by? And consciously, what do I do? Do I still believe in doing to others as I would have done unto me? And I definitely do. I wouldn't want somebody to do that to me, so I won't do it to them. And like you say, the love of money. A lot of people say, well, you sure like it a lot. You might not love it, but you sure like it about. I love what it does and the opportunity that it does. The church I work at is the Key Church over in Fort Worth. And he says a little saying that that triggers me a lot, because he say, I don't love it, but I sure like it a whole bunch. He said, because it gives you opportunity. So if you only have $10,000 and you go buy a car, then they gonna say, okay, well, this is your window. This is what you can buy. But if you got $100,000, it just gives you more opportunities. If it gives you more selection, and I feel that's what money does, and that's what wisdom should do as well. Wisdom and understanding should give you more opportunity to help people, to disperse all your wisdom. And that's what I love to do. That's my passion. Like, I love to help no matter what is going on. I want to be a help. And as much as I can be a help, I will be.
You are that person. That's not something that you could just, some people could say it and they don't do it, but you definitely exude that. And no matter what, if someone knows you and you let them in your life, they know that if you need them, you will help. Now, sometimes you give me a little trouble, but that's okay. I'm gonna earn my keep one day.
You say I give you some trouble. You say I give you just a little bit, not much. Just
Give me some trouble, but that's all right. But I am very grateful for how you have allowed yourself to open up to people, and now you are able to talk here. And I'm sure you've done multiple podcasts, but it's just to let people know that you can transition out of anything, and as long as, like you said, you go within, you embrace your own uniqueness, you love who you are, and you try some stuff. So with everything that you've shared tonight, in one sentence, how would you describe you?
How would I describe me?
Yes.
In one sentence, I'm a person that. Oh, you say one sentence. Ooh, that's challenging. Hold on, let me see. One sentence. I love myself enough to pursue my dreams and visions. Wow. I guess I'm about to add some.
I put a semicolon, and semicolon still one sentence. I put a semicolon in there.
Wow.
Emphasis of the wow. Are you the wow?
No, I was saying wow.
Okay.
Not wow. Wow, giving.
Okay, I forgot you.
Wow. Yeah, my little dialect. But wow, giving myself over to others. So if I had to put it in a sentence to clarify it, I would say I left myself to give myself over to my visions and my dream while helping others.
That's phenomenal. I love that. I really do. I think that's awesome. Because the title of the show is Replace Loss with Love. And I believe that you can replace any type of loss with love. It doesn't have to be someone passing away. It could be a moment of time. Do you see in your life where you had to take a loss and you replaced it with love? And if so, what would you say? How would you explain
that? For the sake of the terminology of lost, I would have to say yes. The greatest transition I ever made in my life, and this is including my dad's death and my ex-wife passing as well, was the transition of my belief. So I felt like I lost myself because that was my only foundation. I felt like I had lost myself, but when I began to love myself even greater, then I found myself and I became happy. So have I ever lost and now I become found by love? I feel like now I love myself in a greater way. So now no matter what happens, no matter what this world throw out, and believe me, as they say, life be lifing. You know what I'm saying? But at the core of it, because I trust me, and that's a hard thing to do, because I really love me and I trust me, and that's something to come into where you trust you and you love you, even though you don't make always the decisions that you would feel that's beneficial for you at the time, like eating. Like you may put a hamburger in front of me, or you may put some fruit in front of me. Well, I may not always choose that fruit. But now I realize that I made that decision and I can live up to that. I can live up to that. So, say, okay, now next time it's quantifiable. I know I messed up. I didn't do this or I didn't do what I needed to do. Next time I'm going to choose the fruit. But right now I'm going to eat this hamburger and then the next time I'm going to choose the fruit. Say you got to nail who you are and say, if you put those two things in front of me, I'm going to choose the hamburger every time. You have to know. So don't put that in front of you then. So knowing yourself is making decisions like that. No, I'm not strong enough for you to put this hamburger in front of me now. Man, Derrick, stop tripping. No, man, I'm disciplining myself, so I'm not going to go here with y'all. You know, because if I go live with y'all, oh man, you weak. Okay, you say whatever you want to say. I love me, and because I love me, I'm not going with you.
You know, that's just my point of view. You know, I believe that when you get to a point where you want to be honest with you, it's the greatest way to build trust. So you're honest. You said, okay, I don't put that hamburger in front of me because I know I'm not going to choose the fruit. And some people don't. They're not honest with themselves to be in that space. Is such a good space to be in.
Right.
And being able to be like, I don't care what someone else sees or what they say. I am going to bet on me all the time. And
That's
I
good.
see you exude that though a lot. Like that's not you're not just saying that. Like I see you walk that out in life. I do.
Yeah. And this is a lot of times people look at they look at my life and they take it as a I have people say, no, for real, man, cut the acting. You know what I'm saying? This ain't this no. I'm talking to you man to man. Cut cut the shenanigans, man. You just closed your business. That was over $300,000. You took a $300,000 loss, dude. I mean, what's how do you really feel? I said, I feel like I'm ready to do the next thing. They be like, wait, come on. Yeah, it hurts. It does. I didn't even think I could come up with another 300,000. I'm like, me, come on, not going to the bank, not getting a loan, not doing none of that. You know, I spent over 200,000 of my own. My brother spent over 100 some thousand. So $300,000, and you have to take that as a like you say a loss. But because I love, and you were asking about the loss and the love, because I learned and my why is so great, I'm like, I learned the valuable lesson. I know what to look for. I know what not to look for. Some people go to college and pay that 50,000, $100,000. My 200 came from somewhere,
Doctoral degree.
and I got one now.
Vacation in there. Where my
I I,
vacation at?
I got a doctorate now. So that's what you're trying to tell me? I'm a doctor. Y'all
I hate it. I'm a freaking doctor now.
have days that I've just I still have to adjust my beliefs.
Yeah.
Within myself, I have to remind myself, and I have to go back to that mirror and talk to that mirror and say, hey, man, remember how great you are? Get up. Like, I don't feel like getting up. I know you didn't feel like doing it last time, but you're going to succeed. You're going to get up. And this is who I am.
Proud of you for that. That's a big thing to say and to admit.
Yeah. And like I say, you go through challenges in life. So if I was encouraging people and the people that's out there, really, because that's what I love to do. I love to see people make it. I want to see you make it little by little. Start, and in order to get there, you got to start. Just start, and then you'll navigate. You'll see what works, what don't work, how I should do this. At least you got to start.
Yeah.
People always say I don't have enough money. And I used to always say, I don't have enough money. If I had more money, I could do this. No. Your wisdom would take you, and your passion would take you further than any type of money can take you, because somebody will see your passion and invest in you. Like, I have a production company, which I said it before, where somebody can come and don't have no money and sell me on an idea. And now I say, I want to produce your show. I got the right to do that if I want to. They didn't need no money. They just need the right connection back into the right people and do. So I always keep that in mind. And that's what I want to be able to play. So I always say I want to be somebody to answer prayer. What you praying for?
Yes.
When you pray,
Yes, you do.
I want to pray and be able to answer that. I won't be an answer prayer. That'll just bring me joy. Oh man, I just prayed about that.
So I have one final question before we wrap up.
All right.
How would you encourage somebody to restart? Because you started, you've been successful, you hit some bumps in the road, you are still transitioning out of this last bump in the road, but you are still pushing. The biggest thing is some people don't, like you said, some people talk, they never start. But what about that man or that woman that has started and they don't know how to restart? They're like, no, they ain't counting on themselves no more. And I get it. You can go within and you can look at yourself in the mirror. And what if all those things are not working? And they found like now they may not be trusting themselves anymore, right? How do they restart?
Say it's gonna take some trust. It's gonna take some belief. You definitely have to go back to that. Man, to restart, look at why you started in the first place. I know it's kind of redundant, but look at why you started. Maybe your why wasn't strong enough. I can't quit. It ain't no such thing as quitting for me. I mean, that don't exist. When your why is stronger than anything, it don't. So you need to really ask yourself, and it's normally like 6 or 7 layers to your why. So if you say, I just want to take care of my kids, okay, why do you want to take care of your kids? Well, I had a bad upbringing, okay. Well, why did this trigger you to want to have this? Well, my father left me and my father hurt me. Normally, when you get down about to 6 or 7, you're gonna start crying. You're gonna be like, oh man. I would say to restart, ask yourself the hard questions and start little by little. Don't take this great big vision and try to make it come to pass. Take something real small. Just say, I'm gonna wake up at 5:00, 4:44. I'm gonna wake up at what this time, and I'm just gonna think about it. I ain't gonna do nothing. I'm just gonna think about it for 2 minutes a day. He's like, that ain't nothing, man. 2 minutes. Okay. And then the next week say, I'm not gonna do nothing. I'm just gonna think about it for 4 minutes a day. That's it. I'm not doing nothing. I just want to wake up, think about it, go back to sleep. As you begin to set little small goals, it'll bring that excitement back, and you'll start growing little by little by little by little. Next thing you know, you back on that saddle. You back investing again. One thing I always kept was my sound and lighting coming through everything, because that's my foundation. I love it. So that's what I would say. Find something that you would love to do and that you would do for free, and do it. I don't care what it is. Go back, go to that place of where you love what you do.
Okay.
Don't just work to live.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I will say that was a great way to end this show. We went over a little bit, but it was so necessary for everybody to hear everything that you had to say. And I thank you for sharing. Hope you do come back and join us again on the Replace Loss with Love podcast. And I'm going to say this. Today is the 15th of August, 2024. I do love you.
Oh, thank you. I love you too.
And y'all have a wonderful day. And I hope you join us for the next episode and rewatch this, because this is beneficial. Take notes. God bless you. And until next time, peace.